If you want to forage for durians, the most important thing by far is to know how to identify your durian tree. Because if you just walk out in the wild looking on the ground trying to look for durians, then there's going to be a high chance of failure. Most of the time, a durian tree is the tallest tree in the forest, and it has a round crown like this compared to other trees that has maybe a more vertical crown. One of the best characteristics I use to identify a durian tree is the color of the underside of the leaves. If you notice durian trees, on the underside of the leaves is an olive green color. I don't know if I can zoom in for you. As compared to say maybe this leaf here or this leaf here, where it's more lighter green in color and it's more commonly found in the jungle. This olive green leaves is very particular to the durian, and it's not a hue that is easily found here, so this is really a good way to identify whether it's a durian tree or not. Here's one that just fell. Here's a couple of ways to tell that the durian that you forage is good to eat. First and foremost, you have to look at the stem. Durians naturally fall from the tree when they're ripe. So if you look over here, the stem, there's a clean cut on the top of the stem. If you see a stem going upwards like this or some jagged edges, means you knew that the durian fell when there was strong winds and not when it was ripe. It's very difficult or almost impossible for the durian to ripen when it's not on the tree. Secondly, you know this durian is fresh. If you look at the top of the stem, and you feel over here, you feel that it's slimy. It means this durian fell just a couple of hours ago. If you had been out there for 1-2 days, then this part will dry up. So we know this durian is fresh. And of course, most obviously, this durian has a pretty strong durian aroma. If the durian was unripe, when you picked it up, it will smell more green, more raw smell, and not a strong durian smell like this. So this durian is good to eat. As you can see, I'm stepping away from the durian tree as I'm making this video and explaining, because you don't want to be under the durian tree. It's pretty dangerous, especially when it falls. The best way to, when you go durian foraging, to keep your durian is using canvas bags. And you can get canvas bags like this from Decathlon or from IKEA. And I feel that these bags, after all my years doing this, is the best. I wouldn't recommend tote bags, because tote bags, you know, as you get more and more durians and you sling it on, tote bags, actually the durian thorns poke through the tote bags and it'll kind of hurt you as you walk. For canvas bags, it doesn't puncture through, and so this canvas bags is really the best bags to forage for durians. So this is a classic example of a durian that you would not want to bring home. You see the stem? Actually, you can see perfectly here. Whenever the durian is ripe, this line over here, this is where the tree will severe the ripe fruit and the fruit will drop from the tree. But if you see, this stem is still attached to the durian, as opposed to this. These two durians are actually from the same tree. See a clean cut over here and this one over there like that. So this durian is not ripe and you don't want to bring that home. Nice. Slimy, clean cut. Oh, strong durian smell. This one is a keeper. This tiny one here. See some wild champadak here. Champadak are almost impossible to forage in a wild, because the moment it turns ripe, some smell on it, unless you put some covering like newspaper or plastic bag, insects and squirrels, monkeys all get to it so quickly. Oh, this one has been eaten. When you see a durian like this, eaten so cleanly like that, it means a squirrel had nibbled through the skin and gone to the durian. So a lot of people will look at this and like, I'm not going to eat this anymore. But in reality, if a squirrel had eaten the durian, it means that the durian must have been ripe. So there's this other portion here that's still good, where the squirrel didn't get to, so I'm going to open it up. Now I know a lot of people at home would open up their durians using a knife, similar to what those durian uncles do outside. But for me personally, I like to use a spoon to open a durian. One of the reasons is to avoid getting cut from both the thorns and also the knife if you're not skilled with the knife, like those durian uncles outside. And secondly, if a durian is already ripe, then a spoon can easily fit in and you twist it and everything will open up. Let me show you. So you want to get those spoons that's pretty firm, not those soft ones that you get from Taipeng stalls. So you go to the bottom of the durian. See this little brownish part here. Stick it in, twist it open. See how ripe it is. So this portion here was the portion eaten by the squirrel. So on this side, the durian, good to eat. This one is sweet but slightly bitter. I don't know what any of all these species of durian are. Don't know if it's D24, Mao Sha Wang, red prawn. I just call all these kampong durians because all these were probably planted during the kampong days. So all these kampong durians tend to be much sweeter in variety than those that you find outside like D24. And that's really my preference. That's what I like, sweet durians. This is the small durian that we picked just now. I just wanted to show you a classic example of what happens when you don't pick a durian within the first day. All these insects will burrow in to the durian over here. You can see from the top too, over here. And so even though this durian smells really good, but all these insects have already burrowed in and have started eating the durian inside. So it's kind of no good to eat. But I'm going to open it up anyway to show you how it looks like inside. Oh, you see, this is the insect that burrows. I just heard a durian fall at the back. But yeah, this is the critter. Yeah, if you don't pick the durian fast enough, it's gonna go in. Oh, finally. Spent the last 10 minutes looking for this one. I heard it fall from a distance. And I came over to this tree. This one had an insect burrowed in. But besides that, pretty good. Obviously slimy, because it's fresh. Keeper. So this is my haul of durians for today. About 2 hours worth of work. It's enough for me to bring home and share with my family. But I'm gonna open one up right now to eat because I'm hungry. This one might look a bit whitish. It's actually pretty sweet. Firm. Maybe because it's not super ripe, but still soft enough. It's good.